Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, I forgot. Where's my intro? My intro music didn't come on. I'm waiting for my cue, and it didn't come on. So, hey, this is Lena. Welcome to the Lena Jones Diamond Network show. I'm your host, Lena Jones. Don't know what happened to my introduction today, but all types of weird things been going on with the weather, so I am not surprised. So, welcome to the show. If you're new to the show, I hope you enjoy it. I don't know if you like talk radio or not, but this is talk radio mixed with a little bit independent artist music. We kind of do a little bit of everything here. This is the third Monday of the week, and this is Coffee Talk. This is the time when you get to curl up with me, and we get to talk about stuff. When I say stuff, I just mean random stuff, things that we all go through. I mean, everyone goes through basically the same thing. It's whether you're rich or poor. Okay, if you're rich, you may not have money problems, but you may have problems with people always trying to get your money. You may have health problems that all the money in the world can't fix, and you probably trade it in and be a pauper just to have that good health. So we all go through things in different ways. We all go through it, and we all bleed the same. So we got some people down in Florida and Harvey still going through. So just because you don't hear nothing, because we have a tendency to forget about stuff after we don't hear about it anymore, but now, because those hurricanes are still coming. And Jose is lingering around Virginia somewhere. So we may get flooding in the southern part of Virginia. We flood at the drop of a dime. There's no safe havens anymore. There's no safe haven. So you might as well fix up your house and do it. If it happens again, that's what our purpose is. Our purpose is to work until we die. I know that's cruel, but it's true. Our purpose is to work until we die. We're born on this earth. We go to school. We listen to our parents as growing up. And then when we get older adults, we work. Regardless of what your work is, whether it's singing, whether it's office work, whether it's dancing, whether it's you just dance till you die, you work till you die. You do everything until you die, okay? So that's the bottom line. That's the real deal, okay? So let's see. We have a couple of subjects, and I'm trying to go and kind of dig right into it because I always run out of time. And I'll get some emails to say, well, I didn't finish up stuff. Well, I'm sorry. I try to get in as much as possible. So on this tonight's subject, we're going to be talking about the ENS, the empty nest syndrome, which is my theme, actually. I have a theme every month, but sometimes I don't really talk about it the way I should. But I put it up on my website. I always put it up on the LJDN, on the Lena Jones page. You can see what I talked about. And this month was empty nest syndrome. Unlike most people, I call myself a rarity, and I am in so many ways. But I started having my children at a really, really young age. So when my kids got grown and left the house, I was relatively young. And maybe that's me. I'm kind of in the Michael Jackson syndrome. Have never grew up. But guess what? I'm having fun now. On that note, so we're going to talk about the ENS, the empty nest syndrome, the health work habit blues. We might cross that out, okay? We really need to talk about that. But what I really want to get into is the homeowner's insurance, because with all of this going on, whether you're renting or whether you're buying a home, we all need that insurance. So I definitely want to touch bases on that. Then we're going to get to credit cards. Our music tonight is OG Wawa, Steve Cohen, and Across the Board, which reminds me I'm going to go ahead and get into that music right now. What do you say we start out with a little bit of OG? Get the mood going, okay? So I hope you're curled up on your couch, or you got your feet back, or you're in your recliner. I love this kind of weather. I try not to really do many coffee talk episodes in the summertime, unless you're chilling in your backyard and you want to hear it. But winter time is my coffee talk time, because I like the hot coffee, the hot tea. Some people have a hot toddy. Whatever floats your boat, dude. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and get some OG Wawa going with Keep the Party, right? Be back. OG in the house.
I'm stuck in this traffic. I'm losing self-esteem, I got a bad habit. I'm off springs, I really want my mattress. The fact is I feel I'm under black magic. A pencil pushing your pens and push it closer to the point where I'm pushing the pens. The end. Am I thinking wrong? Cause all I'm hearing in my head is you can party on the beach without a care the day of the week. One sip from the solo cup, a little hit from the solo cup. One guitar with a bunch of good rhymes, just a bunch of good people looking for a good time. I'm in a bind and I really hate this working stuff. I'm pulling it sick. I heard that the sun is the one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. There's only one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. I want a gaggle of girls that are raveled in pearls, so we can tackle the world and all party live. We're never going too far, but we can chill at this bar or pack in the car. We'll all fit inside. So kick out your stool, start acting a fool. You get a taste of my place on the top in the pool. A full day of partying and still going strong. I just got my second wind, I'm thinking. Beer pong and kings, if kids wanna sing, I'm strumming 6 things on my 6 string. Don't be afraid, we'll get your bills paid. Grab a Bible, say my hollow, and we'll all get laid. This could be a life if you do it right. We party all through the day and then up into the night. It feels right, kind of stereotype. I'll take this rock star image and live up to the hype. There's only one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. There's only one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. There's only one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. There's only one thing that I need. Well, it's a pretty little girl, but I'll take that breeze above going to work. Cause all I wanna do is keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. Keep the party. Keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. I said all I wanna do is keep the party. Keep the party. Keep the party.
All right, that was OG Wawa getting us started for the evening. You got about 50-something minutes to spend with me, and I'm going to get it started right now. Speaking of which, okay, so emptiness syndrome. Some people, now I have 3, well, There's two different ways you can go about this. You can be depressed or you can be happy. Now, I have two different stories to read to you about two different situations. So you can decide which one are you going to do. And then we'll just talk about some things that you can do and find to do when you get into that funk, if you get into that funk. Okay, what is empty nest syndrome? In case you don't know, some people just say it's just feeling bad. Well, according to Adult Health, it says empty nest syndrome isn't a clinical diagnosis. Instead, empty nest syndrome is a phenomenon which occurs in which parents experience feelings and sadness and loss when the last child leaves the home. Although you might actively encourage your child to become independent, the experience of letting go can be painful. You might find it difficult to suddenly have no children at home who need your care. You might miss being a part of your children's daily lives as well as a constant companion. You might also worry intensely about your children's safety and whether they'll be able to take care of themselves on their own. You might struggle with the transition if your last child leaves the nest a little earlier than expected. If you have only one child or strongly identify with role as parents, you might have a particularly difficult time adjusting to this empty nest thing. Well, I got to tell you, I had three of them. Well, 2.5. The youngest one comes and goes. But the youngest one decided to leave home at a very young age, the age of 19, which I think is just too young for anyone to really be out there. I've been through some stuff. I can tell you some stuff. So I know the world is not an open book. My skin is tough. That's why I'm able to do this show, because I don't let really what people say or think about me bother me, because really, bottom line is, you're not doing anything for me, okay? You're not doing anything for me. So that's one thing to look at. So, but my daughter left, my youngest daughter left home at 19. And of all things, mother and father, worst nightmare. They find some knuckle-headed boy, and they leave home with it because they think they're in love when actually they're in lust. Your little hormones are just bouncing and popping around and just ready to do stuff and want some privacy to do it with. That's the bottom line, okay? Let's keep it real. So, but I was a little hurt about that one. The oldest one, well, all three of my children, when they left home, I had feelings for all of them. The oldest one, when she left, it bothered me a lot because I moved out of the state. She wanted to stay in the state where we were, and I moved to another state. So that kind of got to me. Moving and settling into a new place and not having her there was a little bit painful for me. But I had two more that I had to think about. Now it's hard when you only have one child because your whole life is that child. That's why I'm a firm believer on not making your whole life about your children, because eventually your children will leave you. And some of them, I know friends who have put so much into that one kid, and that one kid don't even want to be bothered with them. I don't get that. I'm just like, you need to live your life. Believe me, believe me, they will need you before you need them, unless they go out and win a lottery or something. Win a couple of millions, then you might have to say, I'm going to need some money. Okay, what's the impact of the syndrome? In the past, researchers suggested parents dealing with empty nest syndrome experience a profound sense of loss that might make them vulnerable to depression, alcoholism, identity crisis, and marital conflicts. If you're not getting along prior to the kids being born, and you ain't getting along while you're in school, while they're in school, you're not going to get along when the kids are gone. So you have two choices there. That means, either you crap or get off the pot. But do it before you get too old to date, and that doesn't just apply to women, that applies to men too. Do it before you get too old to date and find that one that is right for you, because there's a match out here for all of us, because, hey, woman was taken from the womb of man. So we are destined to be together to find a man. So it's just